Being royalty has always been a big deal since the beginning of time, and it is even more important in certain parts of the world. Places like the United Kingdom, Dubai, Saudi Arabia, and the like all rely on this form of government. And just like the movies, royalty has a vast amount of wealth, which means their lifestyle is unlike any that you can possibly imagine. That can also be said for the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan. That said, let's look at the lifestyle of the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, where it all started. Just like every other monarch, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan comes from a long line of royalty, as he is the third son of the first president of the United Arab Emirates and former ruler of Abu Dhabi, Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan, and his third wife, Sheikha Fatima bint Mubarak Al Ketbi. He has 16 brothers, 4 of which are deceased, and several sisters, which shows that it was a very large polygamous family. Sheikh Mohammed didn't have the usual royal lifestyle when he was younger, as his father, Sheikh Zayed, sent him to Morocco hoping to give him a discipline experience. Sheikh Zayed gave him a passport with a different last name so he wouldn't be treated like royalty. Sheikh Mohammed spent many months working as a waiter in a local restaurant, making his own meals and doing his own laundry, just like every normal person did. He joined the United Kingdom's Royal Military Academy, Sandhurst, in 1979 and graduated in April 1979, during which he completed a basic flying course, a basic armor course, a parachutist course, and training on tactical helicopters and planes, which included the Gazelle Squadron. As a young military officer in the 1980s on holiday in Tanzania, Sheikh Mohammed encountered the Maasai people and the extent of their poverty. When he returned, he went to see his father, who asked him what assistance he had provided to the people he met. Sheikh Mohammed shrugged, stating that the people were not Muslims, to which his father clutched his arm and said, "We are all God's creatures." This must have been where Sheikh Mohammed learned the essence of philanthropy, which we will discuss later in the video. He later joined the officers' training course in Sharjah and held a number of positions in the UAE military, ranging from that of an officer in the Presidential Guard to a pilot in the UAE Air Force. His political career. Sheikh Mohammed spent quite a number of years in the military, but it was only a matter of time before he became involved in politics of the Arab world. In November 2003, his father, Sheikh Zayed, appointed him as Deputy Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, and upon his death of Sheikh Zayed in November 2004, Sheikh Mohammed became Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi. He was also appointed Deputy Supreme Commander of the UAE Armed Air Forces in January 2005 and was promoted to the rank of General later that month. He has also been appointed as the Chairman of the Abu Dhabi Executive Council since December 2004, which is a member of the Supreme Petroleum Council, and is in charge of the development and planning of the Emirate of Abu Dhabi. Sheikh Mohammed also served as a special advisor to the former president of the UAE and his older half-brother, Khalifa bin Zayed. However, due to Sheikh Khalifa's failing health in January 2014, Sheikh Mohammed became the de facto ruler of Abu Dhabi and was in charge of welcoming foreign dignitaries to the capital district of the United Arab Emirates. Following the death of Sheikh Khalifa on May 13, 2022, Sheikh Mohammed became the ruler of Abu Dhabi and was elected as the president of the United Arab Emirates on May 14, 2022. Academics have described Sheikh Mohammed as the strongman leader of an authoritarian regime, and the New York Times labeled him as one of the most powerful men on earth and the most powerful Arab ruler in 2019. Time magazine also named him one of the 100 most influential people of 2019. He is even rated as the 8th most influential Muslim in the world in 2023 by the Royal Islamic Strategic Studies Center. This shows that not only is Sheikh Mohammed a man of large wealth, but also a man of great power, as he has a hand in the politics of many countries all over the world. His super yacht. Royalties usually spare no expense when it comes to having some items they consider necessities. For the Zayed Al Nahyan family of Abu Dhabi, they consider owning a yacht as a necessity, especially since most of Sheikh Mohammed's brothers own one. This also means that Sheikh Mohammed has a yacht of his own, the super yacht Rabdan. The super yacht Rabdan was originally built in 2007 by Silver Yachts, on speculation by its founder Guido Crass. It is the first ever yacht built by Silver Yachts and was later sold to Sheikh Mohammed in 2009, who named the super yacht Rabdan. It was built according to the specifications and design of Espen Oino and is powered by 2 MTU engines, bringing it to a top speed of 27 knots. It is 240 feet long, and can hold 14 guests in 7 cabins and 16 crew members in 8 cabins. As for costs, this super yacht is worth $60 million, and it costs $5 million to keep it running annually. Is marriage. Marriage is a union between a man and a woman. And while that aspect of marriage doesn't change regardless of how rich or poor a person is, the celebrations of said union differ depending on the amount of money put into it. However, even among the rich, there's a significant difference between the weddings of regular rich people and royalty. Nonetheless, the wedding of Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan and Princess Salma bint Hadman remains one of the most extravagant weddings of all time. You might wonder what makes this wedding so extravagant that it is still remembered today, especially since the wedding was held in 1981. The simple answer could be that it was a celebration that lasted an entire week, and Sheikh Mohammed's family actually built an entire stadium that could contain 20,000 people just for the wedding. It has been about 43 years since the wedding, and it remains the most expensive wedding of all time, as it was recorded that $100 million was spent on the celebrations. While the 20,000-seat stadium and the week-long celebration are factors that make this wedding so expensive, they aren't the only factors involved. Throughout the super extravagant wedding, 20 camels decked with jewels were used to deliver gifts for the bride, and the newlyweds toured numerous towns within the Emirates on horseback. It has been over 40 years now, and no wedding celebration has been able to beat Sheikh Mohammed and Princess Salma's wedding as the most expensive wedding of all time. His private jets. Being a member of one of the richest royal families worth over $150 billion comes with a lot of perks, one of which is having a couple of private jets for the family. The Abu Dhabi Emiri flight, now known as Presidential Flight, is responsible for transporting the royal family and the Abu Dhabi government. The A6 UAE, the A6 AUH, and the A6 YAS are considered the presidential aircraft. The A6 UAE and the A6 YAS are both Boeing 747 aircraft, while the A6 AUH is a Boeing 737 aircraft. The A6 PFE and the A6 PFC are new additions to the Abu Dhabi Emiri flight, or presidential flight, and they are both Boeing 787 Dreamliner jets. As of January 2021, the presidential flight fleet consists of an Airbus 320-200 narrow-body airliner, a Boeing 737-800 jet airliner, 2 Boeing 777 wide-body airliners, or 200ER and 300ER, 4 Boeing 787-8 and 9 wide-body jet Dreamliners. The prices of each of these aircraft ranges between $200 million to $500 million, and the presidential flight fleet has 8 aircraft, bringing the total to around $3 billion. The Presidential Palace. Every royal family has a couple of palaces, and the same thing applies to the Abu Dhabi royal family. Sheikh Mohammed has a number of palaces, however. The most popular of these palaces is the Qasr Al Watan. The construction of this presidential palace was completed in 2017 and was mainly used for official purposes, such as hosting foreign leaders of states and for meetings of the Supreme Council and Federal Cabinet of Abu Dhabi. On March 11, 2019, Sheikhs Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan and Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan decided to open the palaces to the public to celebrate the country's heritage. This took place in a ceremony hosted by Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan and Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, ruler of Abu Dhabi and Vice President and Prime Minister of the UAE. In August 2019, the presidential palace was listed among the top 20 landmarks of art and culture in the world by travel and tourism website of Hotel and Rest. The interior is decorated with a chandelier of 350,000 pieces of crystal and a dome located above the central chamber known as the Great Hall, surrounded by 2 wings to the east and west. The eastern wing consists of the House of Knowledge, where many artifacts and other objects of importance are stored, including gifts from visiting foreign officials, and 2 religious texts, the Quran and the Bible, along with a library having over 50,000 books documenting the council's cultural, social, and political history. On the other hand, the western wing has halls used for official purposes like meetings and banquets. Philanthropy. I already mentioned what gave rise to the philanthropic acts of Sheikh Mohammed, and for a man worth over $30 billion, you can be sure that his philanthropic acts are huge. He once gifted $14.67 million to the United Nations Global Initiative to Fight Human Trafficking, helped raise $100 million for the Reaching the Last Mile Fund, donated $50 million for children's vaccine efforts in Afghanistan and Pakistan, and even contributed $30 million to the Rollback Malaria Partnership. He has also organized the Zide Charity Marathon in New York City yearly since 2005, which raises awareness about kidney disease, and the earnings go to the U.S.'s National Kidney Foundation. Additionally, he has helped set up art museums, including the Guggenheim Abu Dhabi in 2012, Louvre Abu Dhabi in 2017, and cultural heritage sites like Qasr Al Hosn. He has also contributed to efforts to protect the Arabian oryx, bustards, and wild falcons, donating $1 million to an initiative dedicated to preventing the power line-related deaths of wild birds. This was part of the $20 million launch of the Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Raptor Conservation Foundation. His philanthropic acts just keep getting bigger and better, and Sheikh Mohammed has contributed to making the world a better place. What about inside the trillionaire lifestyle of the Kuwait prince? Watch that video right here.